In 1988, Cubs was released in theaters, giving a glimpse into what gang culture was in LA. While a depiction may have been true to life, there was never a story depicting what it's like to grow up around it without being involved in it. That was until a young LA native wrote about life in the hood from the perspective of someone focused on getting out. What's up, y'all? It's QB, your R&B bae, with another fire list to add to your movie conversations. This time we'll be discussing the legendary John Singleton and the movies he directed and contributed to the culture. From Boys in the Hood to Poetic Justice, the stories he told are based in LA but relatable to the world. Over his 50 years of life, he would effortlessly solidify himself as one of the greatest directors of all time. And though he had his hands in directing television also, for this one we will focus his Midas touch approach for directing films within his 31-year career. Here is a top 9 list of movies directed by the great John Singleton. Of course, before we get into it, give us a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe and share if you love it, and the comment section and the CT shop are already open, so hit the link to get your merch and support the channel. Now, let's get to it. By the way, if you haven't seen any of our other film ranking videos, 1, shame on you, but 2, we base our rankings solely on the project itself. Box office numbers don't matter as much as the impact the movie had on the culture overall. So now you know what's going on, let's get to it for real. Number 9, Abduction. If you've ever seen The Bourne Identity starring Matt Damon, and you're looking for a PG-13 version to show your kids, Abduction is that movie. With the movie magic convenient story plot where a teenage boy stumbles upon a picture of himself on a missing children website, this movie lets you know early that believability means nothing in this world. The teen in question is named Nathan, played by Taylor Lautner, and his love interest Karen, played by Lily Collins. The movie takes you on a hide-and-seek thriller. Much like Bourne Identity, the movie displays an action-packed chase with danger being ever-present, but not enough to worry the audience or sway the predictability of the ending. This being the last film John directed was an extremely lackluster way to end his movie directing career for fans of his previous work. Though the movie more than doubled in gross, its popularity and replay value are nearly non-existent. Thankfully for John, his legacy was already solidified before making this film, so the movie doesn't really leave a chink in his armor. If only he hadn't stepped away from his plans to direct the Tupac biopic, he may have gone out with a bang. For fans that saw All Eyes on Me, you are not alone. But that's another discussion for another day. Number 8, Too Fast, Too Furious. Pockets ain't empty, cuz. A cringy, but somewhat hilarious quote from Brian, played by the late Paul Walker, is a pretty accurate description of anyone involved in this franchise. In 2003, when Vin Diesel stepped away from the film's first sequel, John Singleton stepped in to give this flick at least a fighting chance. While most may have predicted the movie would be a flop, even without the face of the first film, the movie grossed more than $236 million and was the first of many box office breaking sequels. Too Fast introduced both Roman, played by Tyrese Gibson, and Tej, played by Ludacris. Fun fact, but not only did Vin Diesel step down, but Ja Rule did as well, leaving the lane wide open for Ludacris to step in and collect those checks. Ja said instead of taking that money, he instead went on tour to make around $12 million. Now, in hindsight, we could judge Ja's decision after the success of the franchise, but at the moment, it's understandable. Overall, the second installment of Fast and Furious was a good time, filled with laughs and all the action you could ask for. It hadn't even crossed the line to the ridiculous stunts the franchise is most recently known for now. Makes one wonder how fans rank these movies from worst to first. If you have a take, leave it in the comments below. Number 7, Four Brothers. Picture this. Picture a track with Mark Wahlberg and Andre 3000 spitting rhymes with Tyrese on the hook. Y'all buying that single? Well, how about if we cast them all in a movie as brothers? Does that sound like something you would want to watch? In 2005, John Singleton directed his 8th feature film, Four Brothers, starring all 3 aforementioned musicians and Garrett Hedlund as adopted brothers from Detroit, Michigan. The plot itself may have been a little far-fetched, with the over-the-top mob boss actions of Victor Sweet portrayed by Chiwetel Ejiofor. And though the story, while not necessarily attractive on paper, it was a good time. We could nitpick and point out the flaws, i.e. Andre 3000's not-so-good acting, but that's not what we're here for. The movie was John's second-to-last movie as far as directing goes, and to be honest, with the script he was given, he did a damn good job. The movie grossed 3 times the budget and even earned John an NAACP award for Outstanding Directing in a Motion Picture. Overall, Four Brothers was a solid film with a Saturday afternoon, nothing else is on, so I'll watch it to pass the time movie we all need every now and then. Hood classic for sure. Number 6, Shaft. Oddly enough, though Singleton's focus when writing film seemed singularly focused on life in LA, there was a time he took his pen game to the East. In the year 2000, nearly 30 years after the original, John Singleton wrote and directed the sequel to a cult classic, Shaft. The movie starred the incredible Samuel L. Jackson as the main character John Shaft, the nephew of the original Shaft played by Richard Roundtree. If there were any fans of the original Shaft who felt a little nervous about the sequel, then their nerves should have been at ease with Samuel's performance in this movie. He gave us all the usual Sam Jackson antics, his normal slick sayings that only he can deliver, coupled with his careless approach to dealing with intense situations. All while giving off the smooth-talking ladies' man aura that the original Shaft was known for back in the 70s. And Jackson wasn't the only one who gave us a memorable performance in this project. Though this wasn't his first role, Jeffrey Wright's portrayal of Peoples Hernandez, a Latin drug kingpin, was solid platinum. His over-the-top reactions and quotable lines in this movie put his name on the map for all that didn't know him before this. From special appearances by Busta Rhymes and heartbreaking moments with Mekhi Phifer, this project was an all-around good one, and turned out to be a solid addition to the collection John Singleton had provided us with.
Yo, what's good, people? It's your man, CJ Williams.
I'm QB.
Yo, we just want to say thank you for tapping into the channel. If you're commenting, if you're liking it, you ain't even got comment or like. If you're just tapping in and watching, we appreciate you.
You know what? Actually, share this video, and if you're not in the Patreon, make sure you tap into Patreon where you can get access to the Discord, chat it up with some like-minded people, and we got merch.
Yeah, merch. We got bonus content as well. So make sure you tap in, man. If you like the list, you like the countdowns, there's more where that came from. Hit the link in the description. Support the channel. We're trying to do big things, so we appreciate it.
We're on our way to big things, man. We'll see you in the next one. Number 5, Baby Boy. Where would BET be without Baby Boy? Summer 2001 was the official start of the acting careers of both Tyrese Gibson and Taraji P. Henson. Well, not officially, as they had already done a few television gigs, but yet and still, due to the genius of Mr. Singleton, they were both officially movie stars after Baby Boy. Originally written for Tupac Shakur, but due to tragic circumstances, it fell into the lap of Tyrese. Opposed to the story of Trey and Boyz the Hood, Baby Boy tells another story of a man growing up in the hood without the guidance of a father or positive male influence. Jody, played by Gibson, is mentally a boy trapped in a man's body, dealing with the scrutiny of the world while living under the roof of his single mother Juanita, played by AJ Johnson, and soon her convict boyfriend, played by Ving Rhames. Side note, Juanita is somewhat of a girl stuck in a woman's body, a teen mom who maybe never grew up herself. While many struggled to take Tyrese's acting seriously, over time and with BET's heavy rotation, Baby Boy was stamped a hood classic. While most wouldn't admit it, the film serves as a guilty pleasure. Its ability to still be relevant over time is another notch on John's pen. Maybe Tyrese's sense of immaturity in acting added to the overall character John created. But it makes you wonder just how different the feel of the project might have been if Tupac actually gotten to film it. Either way, here's the Baby Boy, the movie that helped keep the lights on at BET. Number 4, Poetic Justice. If you ever see a random family barbecue and for no reason say, "Cut Pete," chances are you've seen this movie. The choice to continuously gamble on less experienced actors on lead roles makes John Singleton the boldest and one of the most genius movie makers of all time. Poetic Justice dropped summer '93 and took the world by storm. To the title of the project, the story was simply poetic, with the most unpredictable pairing of Janet Jackson as Justice and Tupac Shakur as Lucky. With sidekicks Isha, played by Regina King, and Chicago, played by Joe Torre, the movie takes you on a journey with everyday young black people from the ghetto in the 90s. Dealing with the stresses of their personal lives while attempting to fight their attraction for one another, John writes a tale of two opposites finally giving into the undeniable and inevitable. Through the film, the sad truths of life in the hood are shown in a way that seem normal when in reality they shouldn't be. Lucky sharing a crackhead baby mother with his drug-dealing homeboy, and Justice grieving the murder of her boyfriend while living alone with no family is heavier on paper than felt on film. Again, Singleton shows the world what seems like a lot to handle for an outsider was just another day in the hood. John also drops Easter eggs throughout the project connecting Poetic Justice to the Boys in the Hood universe. Let us know which ones you caught in the comments, and while you're at it, make sure you hit that like and subscribe to the channel. Number 3, higher learning. Man, oh man, if the realities of the world and the mentality of Americans had a movie, it would be called Higher Learning. In 1988, Spike Lee made School Days, depicting African-American young adults stepping into college while preparing to face adulthood. In 1995, Higher Learning seemed to take that idea and spread it to the world beyond African Americans. The movie begins with Malik, played by Omar Epps, and Kristen, played by Christy Swanson, entering an elevator together on their first day of college. The importance of their interaction in the beginning scene contrasts their final scene so poetically, we can't even put it into words. The star-studded cast shows the audience the heavenly highs and devil's living room lows of how a young person in a new world and an underdeveloped mind can easily be influenced. The haunting storytelling and brain-tattooing imagery of Higher Learning showed the world just how bold Mr. Singleton was when it came to getting his point across. Out of all the movies he's written, Higher Learning is the only one that mixes the streets with the suburbs. With the combining of both worlds, he writes a bridge explaining how the differences are mildly similar when dealing with regular life. However, he still reminds the audience who has the upper hand. The harsh realities and upfront situations confronted in this movie should be taught to everybody transitioning to adulthood. The point of it all is shown across an American flag just before the credits roll. Unlearn. We're now down to the final 2. Remembering that this is a list of projects directed by John himself, let's see if you can guess the number 1 project. If you think you know what it is, timestamp the video right here and comment below your guess for the movie sitting at the top. While you're down there, be sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Alright, let's keep going. Remember those albums that changed everything? The ones you played on repeat? The soundtracks of your story. Now, they're not just memories, they're wearable. 8 classic albums pressed into every hoodie and tee. For the ones who grew up on that real hip-hop, and the ones who are still catching up, this is more than merch, it's a tribute. Wear what raised you. Available now at shop.culturalisttheory.com. Number 2, Rosewood. There are few Black movies that are essential for telling the history of America. Films like Roots and Night John give a glimpse into the past while sharing painful details of what it meant to be Black in a land that despised the very existence of melanated people. In 1997, John directed and released his 4th film telling the story of a 1923 Florida city along the same lines. While Rosewood didn't attack the box office like most of John's catalog, its existence was anything but discreet. In fact, as was Roots back in the day, Rosewood was often shown in schools to depict the racism and violence against Blacks in America. The dual performances of Don Cheadle's Sylvester and Ving Rhames' Man was nothing short of masterly, with NAACP award wins for both, and another for Esther Rolle for her heart-destroying role in the movie too. With all the beautiful scenes and uncomfortable images John showed the world, once again he was nothing to play with when it came to that camera work. Another timeless classic to add to his amazing resume. Last and finally, we're at number 1 on John Singleton's greatest list. Number 1, Boys in the Hood. Either they don't know, don't show, or don't care about what's going on in the hood. This quote by Doughboy, played by a young Ice Cube, pretty much sums up the angle John took when writing this movie. While Hollywood used the gangbang stories and aura of violence to monetize the reputation of hoods in LA, Boys in the Hood shed light on the other side of it. Instead of putting all the focus on the gangs in the community like in Colors, John wrote the story from the side of those who lived in it without participating in the nonsense. Funny enough, while watching Boys in the Hood, you will notice, unlike Colors, Boys in the Hood never made reference to any gangs. Of course, if you are in the know, you can spot the lingo and color-themed separation, but for the most part, the story focuses on 2 young Black men with their sights set on getting out. Trey, played by Cuba Gooding Jr., actually does make it out, but his best friend Ricky, played by Morris Chestnut, was on his way before tragically being struck down. Boys was John's first full production. He both wrote and directed it in an attempt to set the tone for what was to come. The film was a game changer in Black cinema period, and let the world see that LA was more than gangbanging and violence. Much like the character Trey in the movie, John himself grew up around the same circumstances and made it out to become the great writer, director, and producer we know him to be. Boys in the Hood was just the beginning. It made way for a section of black film that Hollywood had ignored despite them being right next door. The Hood isn't just full of negativity and violence, there's a beautiful side that wasn't being shown on TV or film back then. That was until Mr. Singleton shined a light on it. And until this day, you cannot make a list of great coming-of-age movies, be it culture-based or all-inclusive, without mentioning Boys in the Hood, a timeless masterpiece. Well, there you have it. John Singleton directed films from worst to first. Did we get it right? Click through to check out more videos on our channel. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm QB, your R&B bae. I'll see you there.